Roman Wilson's got an ankle injury. He was carted off at Steelers training camp. I'll explain what that means next on the Bleav in Steelers show. Today's episode of the Bleav in Steelers show is brought to you by betonline.ag. The preseason is here. It starts this week with the Hall of Fame game between the Bears and the Texans. With preseason action underway, the best place to get in on the football action is betonline.ag. You can use our promo code on your screen. You see it right now, BLEAV, to get started over at betonline.ag. BetOnline, the game starts here. Welcome into the Bleav in Steelers show. My name is Mark Bergin. Quick podcast today talking about Roman Wilson's ankle injury at training camp. It's never good when the cart comes out. And I'm seeing reports where sources are saying it's going to be week to week. And what this leads me to believe is I don't think we're going to see Roman Wilson in the preseason, maybe the third preseason game on August the 24th against the Lions. Steelers kick off the preseason on August the 9th against the Houston Texans. August the 17th, they'll play the Buffalo Bills. That third preseason game where most of the starters, most of the guys that are actually going to play don't actually suit up. Maybe you see him on August the 24th, and then you get into the regular season kicking off week 1 against the Atlanta Falcons. I think maybe that's the earliest we see Roman Wilson. We will see it as it progresses week to week. But I said this in terms of the lack of receiver depth that the Steelers have behind George Pickens. I believe that Pat Freiermuth, the tight end, going into a contract season, is you're going to be like your de facto number 2 receiver. And here's what I mean by that, right? If we pull up the Madden ratings for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm going to get rid of the super here, you can see George Pickens is an 83. That's great. He's still a young developing player, but a lot to be left to be desired with the rest of this group. And it's not to say that any of these guys can't emerge, but let's just go down the list here. Calvin Austin III, a 73 overall. Quez Watkins, a 72. Marquez Callaway, a 71. Roman Wilson, who's just injured, a 71. Scotty Miller, a 71. Van Jefferson, a 71. It's no knock on any of these guys that they won't be able to perform. But when it comes down to it, do any of these guys strike fear in your hearts if you're the Pittsburgh Steelers? And the answer is no. And let's compare those ratings that you just saw on your screen to some of the other receivers the Steelers were rumored to try to target in a trade. Brandon Aiyuk of the San Francisco 49ers is a 91 overall on Madden. DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks is an 86. And then you've got Courtland Sutton with the Denver Broncos in 84 overall. So that's where it's like, okay, if opposing defenses are going to bracket George Pickens, what is your counter this season? Steelers have a lot of depth at the tight end position, which is why I think they'll utilize Pat Freiermuth, right? Because you have other guys like Darnell Washington who can serve the blocking purposes that you'll need. Multiple tight end sets under Arthur Smith, year 1, the new OC. But when I see Roman Wilson's injury and they're saying week to week already, that leads me to believe we may not see the rookie until the regular season. And those reps for young players, first year, second year, third year players are really valuable for the third round pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers coming off a national championship. I wanted to see his want to and his blocking ability because Roman Wilson's not the biggest guy in the world, but I've said this before too. When it comes to playing the wide receiver position for the Pittsburgh Steelers and you put on the black and gold, it's like Superman putting on the Superman cape. And we're going to have to wait and see. Steelers are fortunate that this injury is not worse, but how soon we could see Roman Wilson suiting up for the Pittsburgh Steelers is a question that I have between now and the start of the regular season. I don't expect to see him in the first 2 preseason games if this injury is considered week to week. Something to keep your eye on this preseason if you're a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. My name is Mark Bergin. This is another edition of the Bleav in Steelers show. You're going to get more training camp reaction. My co-host Ike Taylor is there, boots on the ground as part of his scouting responsibilities with the team. So can't wait to catch up with Ike here in the coming episodes here on the Bleav in Steelers show on what he saw. I know his former teammate Troy Polamalu was there. There's a great picture of them down on the field. at training camp altogether. So excited to talk to Ike about that when we can get him back here on the Bleav in Steelers show. I want to thank today's presenting sponsor, betonline.ag. If you're watching on Apple or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review, and on YouTube, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. Hope all of you have great rest of your Wednesdays, great rest of your work weeks. Football is back Thursday. Cannot wait. August 9th for the Pittsburgh Steelers to kick off against the Texans, their own preseason. Again, my name is Mark Bergin. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. So long, everybody.